You have probably seen this image before, or at least something like it. A humanoid robot standing beside a conveyor belt, picking up packages one by one, doing a task that looks strangely ordinary. Maybe it felt impressive, maybe it felt unsettling, or maybe it just felt inevitable. And that is exactly why this matters. Because this is not just a machine sorting packages. It is a preview of what work may start looking like when humanoid robots stop being science fiction and start becoming useful enough to fit into the real economy. What we know is this: humanoid robotics is moving fast. Companies like Figure are no longer showing only short, flashy clips designed to impress investors. They are showing robots built for real environments, real objects, and real tasks. Their Helix system has already been presented handling logistics-style package manipulation, and their newer humanoid platform, Figure 03, is being positioned not just for industrial use, but for the home as well. Laundry, cleaning, dishes, movement through ordinary human spaces, that is now part of the official vision. That matters, because for a long time, robots lived in highly controlled environments, factory arms behind cages, warehouse systems built around predictable motion, machines that worked well only when the world around them was simplified. Humanoid robots are different. They are being built for our world, our hallways, our shelves, our doors, our kitchens, our mess. And the package sorting image is powerful because it shows something very important. A humanoid robot doing a task that is boring, repetitive, and economically real. Not dancing, not performing tricks, not giving a TED Talk. Working. That may be the real threshold. For years, people imagined the future of automation as one dramatic moment, one giant leap where machines suddenly became better than humans at everything. But that is probably not how this happens. It happens task by task, shift by shift. A machine that can sort packages, then a machine that can restock shelves, then one that can move supplies in a hospital, then one that can handle basic cleaning or repetitive backroom labor, and eventually, maybe one that helps in homes, care facilities, or places where human bodies are tired and human labor is expensive. That is the part people often misunderstand. A robot does not need to be perfect to change society. It does not need to be conscious. It does not need to be charming. It does not need to outperform a human in every possible way. It only needs to become useful enough and cheap enough that companies start asking a different question. Not can it replace a person completely, but can it reduce how many people we still need? That is how labor changes, not when the machine becomes magical, but when it becomes practical, and practicality is powerful. Because once a machine becomes economically practical, the conversation changes very quickly. The focus moves away from fascination and toward deployment, away from "look what this robot can do" and toward "how many can we scale?" That is why this image matters, because it may be one of the first widely recognizable images of humanoid labor entering normal life, not as a fantasy, but as a workflow. Today, it is package sorting. Tomorrow, it may be warehouse support, retail logistics, nighttime restocking, hospital transport, repetitive care assistance, or industrial handling in spaces that were once considered too human, too messy, or too unpredictable for robots to navigate. And from there, the next step becomes easier to imagine. If a humanoid robot can move safely around a warehouse, recognize objects, handle physical tasks, and work for long enough to be useful, then the line between commercial work and domestic work starts to blur. That does not mean a robot will instantly walk into your house next year and take over your life. But it does mean the architecture of that future is being built now. And this is where the deeper question begins. Because the real significance of humanoid robots is not just what they can do, it is what they make normal. A package sorting robot looks harmless, maybe even dull. But dull is exactly what makes it important. History often changes, not when technology becomes dramatic, but when it becomes ordinary, when the extraordinary becomes operational, when the strange becomes boring, When people stop asking, "Is this real?" and start asking, "How soon can we use it?" Maybe the optimistic version of this future is real. Maybe humanoid robots take over dangerous, exhausting, repetitive work and make life better for everyone. Maybe they reduce physical strain. Maybe they help elderly people stay independent longer. Maybe they fill labor shortages without stripping life of dignity. Maybe they become tools that support people rather than replace them. That future is possible. But there is another version, a world where the first large-scale role of humanoid robots is not liberation, but pressure. Pressure on wages, pressure on low-skill labor, pressure on service jobs, pressure on the idea that a human being should still be the default answer to repetitive work. And maybe that pressure starts quietly, not with a collapse, but with fewer hires, smaller teams, night shifts that disappear, jobs that remain open for a while and are never filled again. That is not science fiction. That is how transitions usually feel from the inside, slow enough to ignore, fast enough to matter. And then there is the final possibility, the strange one. Maybe one day, the same type of robot you first saw sorting parcels will no longer belong only to warehouses and logistics centers. Maybe it stands in a kitchen, maybe it folds laundry, maybe it wipes a table while someone answers emails. Maybe it becomes one more quiet machine in the background of daily life. And if that happens, the most important moment may not be the day the robot becomes intelligent enough. It may be the day an ordinary person walks past a humanoid machine doing useful work, looks at it for 5 seconds, and feels absolutely nothing unusual at all. Because that is when the future has already arrived, not when the robot becomes human, but when humans stop noticing the robot,